everyone, I'm Noivella, and in this video it's going to probably be pretty short, but I'm going to discuss the most recent new announcement that Zeqa has made around the new updates that they're bringing in. While some of the changes are very cool, I am very worried about the server's longevity based on at least a couple of the decisions that have been made now and that are coming according to the new update. So I'm going to start with the good, and then I will break into more of the not so exciting stuff here afterwards and the things that concern me. So to start, Zeqa is becoming part of the featured servers list, which is amazing because that will hopefully bring in some more players. And they are also doing a complete lobby overhaul and design. And I think that the new lobby is definitely a lot more simple, and it generally is less confusing and everything. They've also gone through and revamped the scoreboard so that it is not this giant wall of text on the side of your screen, because the chat, quite frankly, takes up enough of your screen on Bedrock. We don't need the giant scoreboard taking up the other half. So they are revamping that to be a small little bit of text in the top, similar to how Hive does with their team game modes and things like that. So that's really cool. They're also revamping the UI to make it easier to navigate and find what you need and everything along those lines. You can get to your locker, your settings, all of that stuff in a new UI, which looks really nice and much more cleaned up. They are also adding levels to the server, which is going to be really weird, honestly, because I've always seen Zeqa as more of a practice server, so I don't understand why they're turning it into more of a proper mini game like leveling server. But I mean, it is pretty cool either way because it gives you something to kind of work towards, and it's probably no different than like how ranked games have tiers and things. They're also bringing in a new battle pass, which they do with every season, so that's not anything special or unique in my opinion. They are revamping the login streak system to have more rewarding rewards apparently, but nothing major there. They are, however, getting rid of all of the coins on the server and switching entirely to a shards and orbits system. So they are going to be using the shards for the Zeqa side currency, and then the orbits is the main server side, which I will get into a little bit more when I talk about some of the negatives. And then, of course, more cosmetics and things like that. They are adding new FFA maps for things like Skywars, and that looks really cool. I'll put the photo on screen to show what they are adding to Skywars, at least that they have shared. And it looks really, really cool. It says they are adding in 8 new FFA maps to replace some of the old ones. So the one that I'm playing on in the video, you will not have to see anymore after June 19th, I believe it was. Let me see. Yes, June 19th. So it will no longer be a thing. There is also a cool little new kill section that is coming. Instead of it spamming your chat, it's going to show as a small part of the scoreboard GUI thing that they are adding in the top corner, and that looks really, really cool as well, and would be much nicer than having the whole chat be flooded, especially if you mute your chat, because then you can't see anything. Now, there is a couple of things that I'm a little iffy on updates, and I will be discussing that next. So let's go ahead and get into that. Right. So with Zeqa becoming featured, they are unfortunately collabing with Mineville. So the server is no longer going to be called Zeqa, it's going to be called Mineville Zeqa. Now, my concern comes from the fact that Zeqa is a very older teenager audience, or like just generally more toxic, and Mineville has a lot more younger role players and things like that on there. And the server is also very pay to win or pay to play, which I'm not really a big fan of, and I worry that it is going to come to Zeqa as well with that very big pay to play aspect. Now, we don't know a lot about any of the ways this is going to be integrated, other than the fact that you can still join through the Zeqa.net IP, and you can still play Zeqa as if it's separate. But it will be still connected in Mineville, and people in Mineville will have an NPC or something like that that they can then join Zeqa through. Which I just generally don't think that these two communities mesh well. And so it makes me worried that they're going to have quite a bit of conflict with this. And also, Mineville is honestly one of the more dead featured servers, and so having them be the ones that Zeqa collabs with whenever their main community is Hive makes me really concerned that it's going to kill Zeqa, as is, which Zeqa doesn't get that many players anyway. Now, the other thing I'm concerned about is the fact that they were partnering with MCPVP, which is owned by Dream and Dr. Donut. And the problem with this is that Dream is quite controversial, and on top of being controversial, he is not always the most friendly for children, which is a big problem because the Bedrock community is a lot more children and younger people, teenagers or even younger. And so having somebody like that be kind of a partner with Zeqa is concerning, because that subjects your community to potentially harmful situations. But at the end of the day, I don't care personally, but I do see that being a issue that could come up in the future. Now, the only other thing that I'm seeing that I'm a little bit worried about is generally the way that they do the integrations with the Zeqa and Mineville collab. Because, quite frankly, a lot of these things look really cool, but I do worry that they're going to end up accidentally killing Zeqa off because of this collab and this combination. So hopefully everything goes good, and I guess we won't know until the 19th of January. With all that being said, I am going to wrap up this video. Thank you so much for watching, everyone, and tell me how you feel about the new stuff coming to Zeqa. And yeah, thank you for watching, and I will see you all later. Bye bye.